ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, October 11th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for being a part of today's edition. We are here weekdays, 5 to 6. We also podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. So however you're listening today, thanks for being a part of the show. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to hear from Ryan Crisp from Marshall University. A lot of events happening this week. We just got some information as well about the ticket pricing for Marshall baseball. So we'll save that. We'll talk a little bit about it with Ryan, because I'm sure he's want to get into that a lot as we've got the pricing now. And, of course, you got to be one of the donors. You got to get the brick. That's the key to getting your tickets. You got to be a person who has put the money down to get the brick. And that's a big fundraising effort for the Thundering Herd right now. So we'll get into the details on that a little bit later on with Ryan. He can clarify and clear up anything if you had any questions about that. And speaking of questions, of course, you can text the show, 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. That's your number to be a part of today's edition of the show. Of course, we'll keep that open for you as well. You want to ask a question of Ryan Crisp while he's here. He would be a good resource if you've got any questions about what's happening at Marshall University. So coming up as well later on, we're getting set for Marshall at Georgia State. And that's going to be happening on Saturday. 4 o'clock is our airtime here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We've been listening to Coach Huff's comments all this week. Today we're going to hear from Sean Elliott, the head coach of Georgia State. We'll get his thoughts on the upcoming matchup, what he thinks about his team and Marshall. And, of course, that has been, I think, an anticipated matchup for a while on the schedule. You looked at the schedule, you circled a few dates, and I think this is becoming one of those more anticipated matchups. They're 4-1. They lost against Troy, had some issues there. I don't know what they call their herd beaters, but whatever the name it is for their mess-ups, their turnover, whatever they want to call their herd beaters. They had some. So they're trying to clean that up and get ready for the Herd. It's homecoming for them as well, and it's a big deal. I mean, this is a program that really didn't have all the amenities several years ago, and they've really started to develop and turn into a good football program. So it should be a fun, challenging matchup on Saturday for the Thundering Herd. And as a reminder, we've got it for you. 4 o'clock, our airtime on Saturday here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. As I mentioned, we've got the pricing for baseball. That's coming up. We've also got some great news to get into today about football. We've got soccer. Number one team in the country still remains the Thundering Herd. So big matchup this week for the Thundering Herd. Herd's on an 11-match winning streak. That is historic for Marshall soccer. Let's make that 12. That would be where I'd like to see. I'd like to see it 12 and 13. Just keep this thing going. Maybe the Herd can be the first team to ever finish undefeated for Marshall. Maybe this squad's the squad. I don't know. But they've been pretty good so far. So looking forward to talking about all the events coming up with soccer as well. So we've got all of this coming up for you. And we've got baseball action coming up tonight. We've got baseball now on our sister station, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340, as we have got Atlanta and Philadelphia. That is on our sister station right now. We'll have L.A., Arizona tonight. That's also going to be in our sister station, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. We have got the Twins and the Astros. Houston leads that series 2-1. That's happening tonight here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So whatever your flavor is, we've got you covered. Baseball, hockey, football, going to be a busy night. Anybody watch What'd you watch last night? I know there's a lot to go on TV. There was baseball, of course. There was the opening night, NHL. I watched a lot of that, and it was cool to watch. There was the 3-game broadcast, back to back to back. That was fun on ESPN, and I'm trying to flip the dial. I'm going back and forth. I miss the old days where you had cable. It worked. You plug the cable in the back of your TV, and you could get picture-in-picture. You could have two at the same time. And it's depending on your setup now, it's maybe not as easy. Maybe some setups are better. I've got DirecTV. I can't do this with DirecTV with one receiver. You can record multiple channels, but you can't do picture-in-picture. That's how I would have lived last night. I would have had picture-in-picture. From one channel to the next, I would have had, okay, hey, something's happening there, switch over there. That's what I long for. And I can't get that. You can't get that with streaming. You can't get that. I mean, I think you can with the Sunday Ticket. Isn't there a picture-in-picture option, or at least a 4-screen option? But that's what I long for, because last night would have been a night to have that. Absolutely. With all the baseball action going on, and, of course, all the hockey action going on. And I know my audience, so some of you were watching professional wrestling last night as there were dueling wrestling shows happening. So I know that was happening for you. And, of course, we had Sunbelt football yesterday with Coastal and App State. 27-24, Coastal, last-second field goal gets the win for the Chanticleers. So App State goes down. How many of you are shedding a tear over that? I don't think so. Who do you take in that? I mean, if you're rooting for one of these two, if you had to root for one of them, if you're a Herd fan, you're taking Coastal, right? You're not picking Appalachian State. Are you rooting for Appalachian State over Coastal if you're a Herd fan? I don't think you can. I could be wrong, but I don't think you can. I think you have to stick with Coastal a little bit until, then again, do you really root for either one of them? You just hope for a good matchup and you'll take the winner. I think that's really the more realistic option. You're not rooting for the winner. You're just rooting for a good game. 304-396-TALK is our text line, 304-396-8255. So we've got a lot to get into. High school rankings came out. We got that to get into as well. So all of this coming up. But first up, we're going to hear from Ryan Crisp in just a few minutes. He's going to tell us about everything that's happening this week with Marshall, some big-time soccer to talk about. We've also have got baseball to get into with him. So there's a lot going on. I mean, absolutely a lot going on. So he'll be with us. And, of course, we want to talk about tickets as well with Marshall men's and women's basketball. I kind of alluded to that yesterday. So a lot of good stuff coming up with Ryan Crisp. Appreciate him coming on at least once a week to get us updated and give you some of the stuff that maybe you missed about Thundering Herd Athletics. So that's coming up when we continue on today's edition of The Drive. And the text line is open during that segment at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Ryan Crisp when we continue here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you were a sports fan, we have what you need, from the Sunday Ticket for the NFL, college football, Major League playoffs, and more. Listen up, Tri-State. If you are a first responder, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have just for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Imagine this. It's a chilly winter morning. It snowed a little overnight. You think to yourself, is my car ready for this? There are multiple steps you could take to see if your car is ready for winter. Or one simple one. Have the pros at TikTok Tire make sure your car is ready for winter. They'll check your battery, tires, fluids, wipers, and hoses. Don't get caught out in the cold this winter. Give the pros at TikTok Tire a call and they'll be happy to answer any questions. Winterize your car at TikTok Tire, 2102 3rd Avenue, Huntington. Call today for your appointment at 304-525-7831.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, and baked lasagna. Giovanni's has the best sandwiches around, from the stromboli, Italian sub, calzones, and their signature Big Red. All dinners will be served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's Pizza, fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Still to come, we're going to hear from Sean Elliott, get his thoughts on the upcoming matchup between Marshall and Georgia State. Text line is open at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I want to welcome to the program now. He gets us all the information we need to know what's happening at Marshall. He is Ryan Crisp. Good catching up with you again. We got a lot to get into. You guys are just releasing things right and left, and I'm sure there are a lot of questions. So, first of all, welcome, and how you been?
I am great, Paul. Thanks for having us back. And, yeah, we're rocking and rolling. You know, it's kind of in the middle of football season, and that's everyone's attention right now. But, there's a million things going on, and not only are we getting ready for some winter sports, but we're getting ready for spring sports too. So it's nonstop.
Yeah, there is no off season, especially this time of year. And you mentioned getting ready for a few sports starting. I've been hanging out with Dan D'Antoni over the last few weeks. He encouraged me to play the lottery. I might do that tonight. And then Kim Stevens, I think she invited me to come speak to the team, to give them a motivational speech. Go back and listen. It's there. She said it. I should come and speak to her team. She's fired up. A lot of people are excited for basketball for both men's and women's hoops.
Yeah, we've gotten more calls about women's basketball than probably anything over the last couple of weeks. People are super excited, not only for a program that's on the rise, but the amount of calls we've gotten from Parkersburg, West Virginia, to support Coach Kip Caldwell is unreal. And so it's a good time for women's basketball. It's a good time to get involved. We released their season tickets earlier this week. They're on sale now on herdzone.com. There's some courtside seats still available, very few left. They went a lot quicker than I anticipated. But courtside seating is available for $200, and you can't beat it where you can get in the door for $25 on a season ticket with a family pack. So it's a great time to get involved, get in now, because this program's only going to take this to new heights, and I would get in now before it becomes too late.
Okay, I wanted to clarify a couple of things. When I read that, I just want to make sure I understood it. It's $200 for the season, not per game, right? It's $200 season.
That's right. Yeah, $200 for a courtside season ticket, which is absolutely an incredible deal. We're trying to build a fan base, trying to build a program, and so it's a good price point to get in now before they start doing what our men's soccer team's doing and winning championships. So get in now while you can.
What do you get with that? Obviously, the courtside seat, which gets you close to the action. Anything else that comes along with that maybe hurt fans might go, oh, that makes it even more worth it?
Yeah, no, there'll be some meet and greets throughout the year with the team, and also pre-receptions in the Hartley Room that you'll get invited to be a part of that club, to be a part of the courtside club. But then also just priority on a lot of things. When you are at that level and supporting us at that kind of level, you're going to get priority on certain things, postseason games, neutral site games, all that kind of stuff is going to be you're going to be a priority.
So those seats, a few remain, and you get an opportunity to sit close to the action. This is going to be a up-tempo, fast-paced team, so you want to catch it close as you possibly can. That's a great deal. Season tickets continue there if you just want to go and get a few seats. You said $25. That's a pretty good deal. That's a steal right there.
For sure. No, you can't beat it. $25 per, got to buy 4 of them in the family pack. And with their game times, it makes it a lot easier, I believe, in my opinion, for families to attend these games. They play at 6 o'clock on weeknights, so it's a little earlier. You can get the kids home, and then 1 p.m. on the weekend, so it doesn't ruin your Saturday night, and you're able to get the kids home, and it's at a good time for family fun.
So that was the next question. The men are playing at 7 o'clock, the women at 6. Was that a real concerted effort to try to not just differentiate the two, but also to try to bring in maybe that season ticket buyer that, okay, I'd like to come, but there's a lot of other considerations. 6 o'clock, okay, I can get the family in, get them out, and, we can still have a great time.
For sure, yeah. No, that definitely goes into consideration. The team's feedback is valued in game times and when they like to play, when they'd rather play. And just as a whole, we felt like 6 o'clock was a better time, especially on the weekdays, to get groups out, to get families out, to come to these games. It's just a better time overall.
My guess is Ryan Crisp. He's getting his cut up and everything that's happening with Marshall. So the women's season tickets are up for sale now. And, of course, the men. Now, how you doing there? I know it's probably a rarity to get one of those courtside seats, so I don't know if I even should ask that question, but I know you're still making the push there to get everything going for the season.
Yeah, no, on the men's side, the court side are sold out. I think they've been sold out every year since we launched them. And they just keep renewing. The people that are there just keep renewing those tickets. So nothing available courtside wise for them. There are still some really good seats available in the lower bowl, though. I fully project after the success they had last year and the sellouts and all that good stuff that we will sell out of lower bowl tickets on a season basis. So I don't think there will be an opportunity to purchase a lower bowl ticket on a single game basis if everything goes as planned and we anticipate the market the way it's going right now. And then, ideally we get to a point maybe this year, maybe next year where we sell out the upper bowl on a season basis. So, ideally if you're wanting to come to the men's basketball games and you're one of those fans that maybe just grabs 5 or 6 random tickets throughout the year, you might want to consider, grabbing a season ticket just to guarantee your seat and know where you're going to be. Just because I think that's going to give you the best availability and the best options for sure.
All right, herdzone.com for all those details, but especially for the women, if you want to get those courtside seats, get them now while they're still available. They might not be there tomorrow, the next day. Call you early morning. Call someone in the ticket office early morning tomorrow and get those. So Ryan Crisp is with us from Marshall Athletics. There are a lot of things that are happening for the Thundering Herd. Today, the press release went out to talk about the availability of tickets now for baseball. And the reality is that you're now selling tickets for baseball. So that means we have a baseball stadium that's going to play host to baseball in Huntington, Thundering Herd baseball. Can you believe we got there?
I know. It's absolutely incredible that we're talking about this, especially when, in all reality, this stadium wasn't even start to be built, 16 months ago. And now come March 1st, we'll be playing baseball on campus in a brand new and one of the best stadiums in the Sun Belt. So it's awesome that we're at this point.
So what are the options? Now, I know from past conversations, if you were lucky enough or fortunate enough to get the brick, you can still get the brick. So, there are still opportunities. If you purchase the brick, which is a fundraiser for the program, you get that commemorative brick. It's going to be part of the stadium, and you also get your first crack at getting season tickets. So, what's the game plan for someone who maybe is still on the fence, wants to get season tickets? What they need to know, and what do they need to do?
Yeah, if you're looking to get season tickets for year one, then you need to purchase a brick. To date, we've sold about a little over 300 bricks. We will get to 600 bricks by the end of the month, and that will be the wait list that we will use in order to get to sell season tickets. And so I'm fully confident we'll get to 600. I bet we'll go well beyond that. The amount of interest in people purchasing tickets, I know, is there's a lot out there. There's a lot of interest out there. And so purchase your brick. What that does is that gets you on the wait list, which gives you the right to purchase season tickets. And then come at the end of this month, we will put everyone in priority point order based on their years of giving and ticket purchases and all that good stuff. And then we'll go through it. And, come December 1st, we'll start seat selections where you're actually picking your seats of, what section you're going to be in and what price point you want to be at and all that good stuff. And so if you want baseball season tickets, you got to purchase a brick, and you got to do it by October 31st to be on the list. We are fully confident that we will sell every season ticket we have through this brick campaign. We will not be able to sell them to, after the fact. So if you want a season ticket, you got to buy a brick.
Now, it's also important to mention that the West Virginia series will not be part of this, but if you're a season ticket holder, you're going to have priority and first refusal to purchase tickets to that game separately. So if you're wanting to see a few certain games, again, I'm with you. Get the season ticket, go through the process now. And it's lowest $60, right? That's a required donation. Get the brick.
Yeah, and
that's the lowest.
That will be like, just like we do football and basketball. So it's more of a level deal. So if, for instance, if you're a football season ticket holder in the chairback section, that's $300 per seat. So you're at $1,200 total for the year. That will carry over, or I guess baseball will be first. So in this case, baseball will be first, and it would carry over to football. So the donation to the annual fund is just a level thing. As long as you're at, as you mentioned, that lowest level, at least at $60 per seat, then you are good. But that will carry over to the other sports and qualify you to purchase tickets in other sports as well.
Okay, and there are sections as well. So, Section 105, just use that as an example. And, of course, everything's posted on Herd Zone if you want to kind of get an idea of where the seats are. Section 105, which is directly behind home plate, $600 per ticket for optimal seats. That's first row or aisle. $500 per ticket for premium seats, not including aisle or first row. And there are tiers for everyone. So, not everyone maybe can do the $600 per ticket, but they definitely can do, say, for example, $300 per ticket for optimum seats in sections 101, 102. So there are plans for everyone.
That's right. Yeah, and we're selling about 1,000 season tickets, and that will include every seat in the main seating bowl. All those seats there's 3 different styles of actual seat that will be in the seating bowl. They're all chair back though, and they all come with a cup holder. Some of them have a high back and some have a mid back. Some of them are padded, all that good stuff. But they're all chair back. They all have a cup holder. And we will sell all 1,000 seats on a season basis. And then there will be opportunities, obviously, for single game tickets in a general admission area. The design and build on the baseball stadium is where literally, they're designing it as they build it kind of thing, based on budget, based on feel, based on what, they feel like is best at the time. And so the general admission areas haven't been completely figured out yet, but there will be, options for single game tickets in the general admission area.
Okay, and I was going to ask you as well. I was kind of curious, what will the arrangements be for students as well? I know general admission, is probably going to be part of that.
Yeah, I think the plan as of right now is there's going to be either grass or turf, kind of like berms, past the dugouts to the end of the outfield. On each side, which is pretty common in baseball stadiums that size. And I think that's probably where we'll have the students and or general admission area. But, kind of subject to changes based on what happens over the next few months, the final few months of the build here.
Okay. So picnic area, sort of bring a blanket, things like that. It's
exactly. Drink rail, standing room, that kind of stuff. Yep.
Okay. But again, all these seats, the season tickets get you a chair back, and just depending on the section you get, it's going to be a different style of chair, but they're all going to be chair back. So, at least you have an opportunity to sit in the grandstand. And, again, get the brick. If you want to get a ticket to this, get the brick. And you can go to herdzone.com for more details on that. Ryan Crisp is with us. A lot of things happening. We haven't even talked about, of course, football. We have not talked about football yet because we've got so many things happening. The Thundering Herd getting set for road trip, then back for that Thursday night contest. So anything ahead of schedule maybe you can tell us about as far as football with the upcoming matchup against JMU?
Yeah, I think that I'm probably most excited for this game. It's our Herd Strong game. We are Herd Strong, which is a cancer awareness initiative. And with a partnership with Marshall Health Network, we have 15,000 stand up to cancer signs. Where basically, as a fan, when you walk into the stadium, you will be handed one of these signs with a permanent marker. On the front of it, you will write somebody's name that has been affected by cancer that you stand for, that you cheer for, in awareness of cancer. And at a moment in the game, we will have everyone hold up their signs, have a moment of silence for those people. They've done this at NFL games, and it's just a very powerful message and a very, very powerful statement. And so we're excited to have that initiative and, do what we can for cancer awareness and help, however possible. So we're excited for that initiative. ESPN, that's the big time. They got us on ESPN at 7:00 on a Thursday. And so we really need a strong showing from Herd Nation. We need the stadium as full as possible. We need people to come out and show the country what kind of platform we have because we are on the biggest and brightest stage that night.
My guest, Ryan Crisp, Marshall Athletics. So football coming up next week. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure, next week. But you've got something coming up as well for soccer. We came close. We tried. We're going to do it again. We're going to get that record broken for women's soccer. But, soccer continues to be a strong sport for Marshall Athletics, not just men, but women as well. And so there's a new push. Please tell me how to say this, how you want this said. There's always a Tober. It's a Herdtoberfest. How are we calling this?
That is the Herdtoberfest.
Herdtoberfest, okay.
Yeah, so in partnership with your great company, Kindred Communications, we, in between the doubleheader on October 22nd, so the women play at 1:00 and the men play at 4:30. At the soccer facility, we will have just some good fun. So there'll be a DJ, there'll be inflatables. There's going to be pumpkin painting stations where we're going to have some student athletes come out and you can bring your child out and there'll be some real pumpkins, some fake pumpkins, and you can paint those pumpkins and take them home as a keepsake. There'll also be a fall photo session with Marco. So we'll have some hay bales and some pumpkins and it's set up where you can take your picture with Marco and have your fall photos done there for you. And so we're just really excited. There's we're handing out 200 custom beer steins that we've ordered, that if you come, you'll be able to grab a custom beer stein. We'll be serving beer. We'll have food trucks. We'll have all the good stuff out there. So it's just going to be a fun little fall event in between the doubleheader. So if you already have tickets to the men's game, come early, come to the women's game, then come to the Herdtoberfest and then go back in for the men's game. If you don't have tickets yet, I would strongly suggest you get them soon because they are going quick for the highly anticipated matchup against Kentucky.
All right, Herdtoberfest is the event. You said 200 steins, right? Just 200?
That's right. 200.
Only 200. You know how many Herd fans will be there.
I know. That's why you got to get there early. Come to the women's game so you can be first in line.
So there we go. Come to the women's game to get your stein.
That's right.
Okay, I see what you're doing. I understand why we're limiting it to 200. What can we expect when we see this thing? I know you can't show me a picture right now, but what are we looking at here? Get Marco on this thing, Marshall logo. I'm sure it's pretty tricked out.
Yeah, no, it's branding at its finest with our and the Herd our Marshall logo on it. And so no, it'll be a good little thing that you'll want to have in your house and And I know my wife loves getting free things wherever we go, and we collect a lot of cups for some reason wherever we go. And so I know it'll be in households after that date.
Okay, so there are 199 left after what you just said.
That's right. But Christine Chris will be there for the women's game. She'll be first in line.
Okay, so 199 left. I know my boss, Reeves Kurtner. So there will be 198 left. Get
Maybe
there.
197 with Mike.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Get there early for this Herdtoberfest. So that is coming up as well. Ryan Crisp is with us here. We always have fun talking about what's happening with the Thundering Herd. Big events coming up. Season tickets are being sold now for men and women for basketball. Of course, you want to get in early on the women's side of things because that's going to be a hot ticket here, the way this team is poised to have a great season. And don't forget baseball as well. So a lot of things happening for the Thundering Herd. We even got soccer on Friday against Coastal Carolina. So looking forward to a busy weekend for you. Even with the Herd on the road, the men, it never stops for you. I mean, heck, you're even a father right now 24/7. I hear your kids in the background.
That's right. No, at soccer practice at the Kennedy Center. And,
okay.
It never stops. That's for sure. It's a 24/7 deal, but that's why you get into athletics, and that's why I love what I do, because it's fun and it's always something.
Okay, so has Coach been there to scout yet?
The 4-year-old son, I don't think he's ready for scouting yet. He's not there yet. He has fun and he smiles, but the kicking of the soccer ball, we're not there yet.
I was just curious because I know how Coach likes to scout future talent. I didn't know if you were just showing up now and then with a notebook. Keeping notes.
Not for my kid. There are some kids out here that he can probably scout, but not for my child, unfortunately.
Oh, come on. Be a proud father. Come on.
Listen, he has fun. That's all that matters.
Ryan Crisp is with me. Always a pleasure to talk to Ryan. It's always fun, and there's a lot of good stuff happening with the Thundering Herd. Get those bricks for the baseball tickets. Get those tickets courtside now for women's basketball, and just pray somebody maybe wants to give up their seat for courtside for men's basketball. That's probably not going to happen anytime soon, but go ahead and pray that anyway.
That's why I would get on the women's ones, because once they're bought, they just keep renewing and renewing and renewing. So if you don't get in on year one, I'm scared you're not going to be able to year 2 and 3. So get in now while you can.
Ryan Crisp, have fun, man. We'll talk to you soon. And you know what? Hey, let's hope that your kids make it to Marshall Soccer one day.
All right. Sounds like a plan. I appreciate it, Paul.
That's Ryan Crisp. Quick timeout. We come back. We're going to hear from the head coach of Georgia State, Sean Elliott, on this edition of The Drive.
The time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118. Here's another Kindred Community Chatter. It's coming. Isaac Walton Lake's annual Haunted Trail, Horror in the Holler, every Friday and Saturday in October, 7 to 9 p.m., 554 Township Highway 140 East, Pedro, Ohio. Concessions will be available for purchase. This Kindred Community Chatter is brought to you by TikTok Tire, 3rd Avenue across from the Joan C. Edwards Stadium. Online at tiktoktire.net. Also, the Working Man Store, your big and tall men's store, 140 4th Avenue in Huntington for over 40 years.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Lavallette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555. And in Charleston, Lisa Godwin, 304-984-0000.
Get ready for Herdtoberfest, the soccer spectacle you've been waiting for. Join Kindred Communications and Marshall Athletics on Sunday, October 22nd at Hoops Family Field for an unforgettable free event with a live DJ, food trucks, pumpkin painting, inflatables, and ice-cold beers from Miller Lite and Atomic Distributing. Herdtoberfest will kick off after the Marshall women's soccer match concludes and before the start of the Herd men's soccer match at 4:30 p.m. Food, music, and thrilling soccer moments await. Herdtoberfest, presented by Miller Lite and Kindred Communications.
Tattoo Saloon here, Tri-State's newest tattoo studio located in Greenup, Kentucky, just a mile and a half southeast of the Dam Bridge. Come by, check us out. We're ready to make a custom tattoo design for you. We take walk-ins every day for tattoos and for piercings. That's right, walk-ins every day for tattoos and piercings. Come in, check out our staff. We have plenty of artists to choose from and a few piercers. We hope to see you guys. Come by and check out Tattoo Saloon in Greenup, Kentucky.
Check out Working Man's Store in Huntington, the biggest inventory of scrubs in West Virginia, featuring brands such as Medcouture, Infinity, Dickies, and Cherokee at the best price. Working Man's Store has one of the largest selections of big and tall shirts, jackets, and jeans in the area. Working Man's Store is the king of blue jeans with Levi's, Dickies, Carhartt, Lee, and Wranglers in sizes up to 72. And Working Man's Store has the best selection of men's work boots and casual shoes anywhere at the best price. Working Man's Store, open every day at 145th Avenue, Huntington.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Welcome back to today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We've got comments from head coach Sean Elliott of Georgia State. He spoke to the media during his time with the Sunbelt presser, and he had a lot of things to say about the Thundering Herd, so we're going to get to that in a second. But again, the text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's start with Sean Elliott talking about the head start that Georgia State has gotten. It's really not that big of a deal for him. They've got the bye week. I'm sure that Coach Huff would have loved to had a bye week before going into this game, or at least had a different structure on the bye week. Sean Elliott didn't think it gave this team too much of a head start. They focused on basically staying as consistent as possible.
You know, we get a little extra head start, but we try not to get too far ahead of ourselves. You know, we've got enough time and preparation time to do it during the course of the week. So typically when we have a little bit more time, we add junk that we don't need, and we go out there and practice the junk that we don't need. So made sure everybody understood, let's go and be who we are and not try to reinvent ourselves or reinvent the plays that work for us, and just become better at what we do.
That's a good strategy there. Instead of just installing things, to be installing them. Hey, we got a couple of extra weeks, so let's go ahead and put some stuff in that we don't need. That's a good philosophy there. So working on the fundamentals, working on the team's identity, do what Georgia State football does best, and that's the outlook from Sean Elliott. Now, this team coming off the loss against Troy, and Marshall, when the Thundering Herd has issues, turnovers, Coach Huff likes to call those herd beaters. I don't know what Sean Elliott would call them, but in the game against Troy, he had some turnovers and some issues. So Coach was asked, did you go back, fix things? And I don't think Coach was really looking to fix things. He doesn't think items on his team are broken. It's just they had some turnovers. It really killed them against Troy.
We turned the ball over 3 times in our last game. So, that was of course, the difference in that game. You can't have 2 red zone turnovers. And I think one was at the 11 and one was at the 1, and we threw another interception, something we hadn't done all year. So I wasn't going in saying, hey, we need to fix this, we need to fix that. Our program's in shambles. I can't believe we're doing all this stuff. It's more about just going out and doing what we do continuously, having a really good attitude. I keep saying it over and over again that we have such a great locker room. It's so enjoyable to coach. And I wanted the open week to be, more the same. Sure, a loss is disappointing, but to have a loss affect you a little further than just a day out is almost devastating. And it wasn't going to do that. I just made sure we were right back to who we are and what we needed to be. And we had great attitudes. We practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we cut them loose to go out there and relax. And we came back with a great attitude today.
So using the time to just focus on being themselves. It's a good philosophy there. And, of course, again, you turn the ball over, you're not going to beat anybody. So you got to work on those items. Now, as far as the Thundering Herd is concerned, how does Marshall look? How do they compare to the team that Georgia State faced last year?
I think they're a much more explosive offense this year. I think their quarterback is playing well. I think Coach Trickett up there is doing I guess he's just getting his playmakers the ball in space, and you can see it. I think they're a really good offensive football team. I think they're a great football team in general. Coach Huff does a nice job in all 3 phases. So it's going to be a great week, but I think it's a different Marshall team than we saw a year ago. And it's a different Georgia State team than what they saw a year ago as well, because that was our last game of the season last year, and we were limping into that game with a lot of different things going on here. But like I said, it's 2 different football teams. It's going to be one heck of a matchup, and can't wait to play them.
So he's excited. He had a good point there. Team came in limping last year, and this team is different than it was last season. Off to its best start, 4-1. Marshall off to a strong start despite the loss against NC State. Marshall still coming into this contest having a good season so far. So one thing that Coach talked about, Georgia State, they have the opportunity here to really get off to a fast start against Marshall, the same way Marshall tries to get off to a fast start. They have an explosive offense. Marshall seems to have an explosive offense. So that seems to be when we break it down, we talk about it. They're explosive, we're explosive, everybody's explosive here. And so that was kind of the question that was asked to set this up, as far as, is it going to be key to show more explosiveness? Obvious question. Hey, do you need to be more explosive than the other team? I think Coach had a proper response.
I mean, isn't that the key every week? I mean, you want to be as explosive as you can. I mean, we certainly want to go out there and score points. We want to hold people to points as well, or no points. But I think just taking care of the football, the creative minds, the offensive systems are both spread it out a little bit, get their playmakers the ball. I think we both have really good defenses. I just think both of our teams are going to go out there and we're going to play a very, very good and clean football game. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a tough one. And it's going to probably come down to a mistake here or there, or a turnover possibly. And I'm just hoping it's not going to be us. That's just the way this game of football is. But I think, when you have 2 well-coached football teams with great players like we have going into this weekend, it's going to be an exciting contest. It's going to be a shame that one has to come out with a doggone loss, but unfortunately that's the game of football, and that's why we play it. We play it to win. So we'll see what happens. As far as the keys, we all want explosive plays. I'll take them, play after play after play, but I don't think it'll be really that consistent. We're going to have to grind it out a little bit.
Sean Elliott breaking down the Marshall matchup. Thundering Herd on the road. We've got the game for you Saturday. We go on the air at 4 o'clock right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We'll get your text in when we continue. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavallette. We look forward to bringing the residents of Wayne County a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, community involvement, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com. Equal housing lender. Member NCUA.
BOGO Wing Blitz.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm practicing my order for the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. BOGO Wing Blitz.
What's a BOGO Wing Blitz?
It's the best play in college football, baby.
Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe College Game Day BOGO Wing Blitz. Every college football game day, buy one jumbo traditional wing and get one free. Plus $3 domestic tall drafts.
BOGO Wing Blitz. Say what?
At the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue in downtown Huntington.
Hey, did you know Vistaprint prints everything a small business needs? Like if a barbershop needs signage, we print outdoor signs, posters, and banners. Or if a ballet school needs merch,
1, 2,
we print tote bags, t-shirts, hoodies, hats. Or if a coffee shop needs a total refresh,
latte for Mike.
Vistaprint designs logos and prints it on menus, mugs, paper bags, anything. Because with Vistaprint, the printabilities are endless. Print it all with 25% off for new customers with code NEW25 at Vistaprint.com.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you were a sports fan, we have what you need, from the Sunday ticket for the NFL, college football, Major League playoffs, and more. Listen up, Tri-State. If you are a first responder, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have just for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Serving my country required sacrifice. Sacrifice that changed my life forever. I remember the day I came home. Because of my injuries, this house wasn't right for me anymore. I remember the narrow doorways, the small bathrooms, the shelves out of reach when in my wheelchair. Every day was full of obstacles. I felt trapped. I remember a better day, the day my family received a specially adapted custom home from Homes for Our Troops. That day changed everything. Now we have a safe and accessible home to enjoy the freedom I fought for. This place, our home, is exactly what we needed to rebuild our lives.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
It's a wrap-up segment, but plenty of time for you. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's the text line to be a part of today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. High school rankings are out. Class AAA in West Virginia, Huntington High and Cabell Midland are tied for first. Oh, that's going to be a heck of a matchup when they match up. Hurricane is third. Class AA, Scott's third. Winfield sixth. And Wahama is sixth in Class A. Ohio Division 4, Region 15. Gallia Academy is 10th. Ohio Division 5, Region 19. Ironton is first. Fairland second. Portsmouth West 7th, South Point 11th, and Wheelersburg 13th. And I haven't forgot about Ohio Division 6, Region 23. I'm looking at you, Cole Grove. You're 10th. And Ohio Division 7, Region 27, Portsmouth Notre Dame is 6th, South Gallia is 9th, and Sciotaville East is 12th. So that's a pretty comprehensive look at area high school and where the teams are ranking. That's going to be a good matchup when Huntington High and Cabell Midland meet. That's going to be a tremendous matchup. Some good news for Thundering Herd football today. If you've been following the careers of Rasheen Ali and Stephen Dix Jr., these are guys who have come back due to injuries. And so Rasheen Ali and Stephen Dix Jr. were named to the Comeback Player of the Year watch list today. And this list is released. It's in association with the College Sports Communicators, the Associated Press, and the Fiesta Bowl organization. Marshall's one of 7 schools that have multiple selections, and Ali and Dix are like 50% of all the representatives from the Sun Belt. So this is a pretty big deal. Rasheen Ali is a guy that was set to explode even further and then had a setback, and so now he's back, and I'm looking for bigger and better things out of him. So hey, congratulations to those guys today. I like stories like this when a guy gets injured and comes back. I don't like the injury, but I like it that they're able to come back and have as good, if not better, careers. And so far, Rasheen Ali, definitely, he's in that category. And some good things happening with Stephen Dix Jr., the linebacker for the Thundering Herd. So that's a good story today, and we'll hopefully be calling one of their names at the end of the year for that award. Coming up tomorrow on the program, we're going to continue our coverage of Marshall and Georgia State. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show especially because, once a week we try to bring into the show one of the beat reporters or one of the announcers that covers the other team. And so Dave Cohen's going to be with us tomorrow, and he is, of course, the play-by-play announcer, if you don't know, with Georgia State. So he's their play-by-play guy. He is going to be on the show with us tomorrow. We'll get a good update with him. We had him back on last season. A real fun guy to talk to, so I'm looking forward to it again. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter writes in and says, I purchased a brick in order for my wife to sit with me. Will I have to purchase an additional brick for season tickets for her? No. The way this works out is if you have purchased a brick, you're going to have the opportunity to purchase those season tickets. So you've got the brick. You've already made that purchase. You don't have to purchase a second brick. I'm sure the Herd would love you to purchase another brick. They will not turn down your money, but you should be fine. I don't know what your priority points look like. I don't know what, where you're at, your donation level, all of that information. But with that said, you've made your Herd bricks purchase. You're going to be put in priority point order once the deadline is reached. Seat selections are going to begin on December 1st and run through January. And, of course, we've got the first game March 1st against Manhattan. So, again, you've got your Herd bricks purchase. You're now going to be put in the priority point order. So that's where you'll fall. And then, of course, you'll have your options depending on where you fall and what's available and what you want to purchase once you get to that point. So, again, if you've got questions, you can, of course, ask the Herd ticket office if you've got any major questions there. But it's not going to, I think, I don't think you need to get a second brick. And if you want to, that's fine. But you're good. I think you're good anyway. If I'm wrong, hopefully someone from Marshall will give me the correct information. But I think I got you covered. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. We always have fun, and I'm glad that you were able to come with us today and have some fun with us. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. And I'm looking forward to talking a little bit more about Marshall and Georgia State, this time with Dave Cohen, Georgia State's play-by-play announcer. He'll give us all the information we can probably handle about Georgia State. That's coming up tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, if you can't listen to the show live, we got you covered. You can download the podcast anytime, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Wherever you get your podcasts is where you'll find The Drive. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Until then, have a great night, everyone.
Retransmitting in glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.